Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel 100 Ideas.
There's something quietly magical about giving old, forgotten objects a second life in the garden. When a worn-out chair becomes a planter, or when rusty tools are reborn as art, the entire backyard begins to breathe differently. This is more than just decoration, it's a philosophy of reuse, a celebration of memory, and a gentle stand against a world that throws things away too quickly. Backyard decor made from repurposed items carries a story. Each crack in the wood, each faded color is a trace of time, a fingerprint of the past. And when we place these pieces into the landscape, we invite that story to live on among the flowers, the vines, the shade, and the breeze. Old furniture, for example, finds a new voice outdoors. A wooden ladder leaning against the fence transforms into a vertical shelf for terracotta pots. An unused drawer becomes a rustic bed for herbs. Even a cracked mirror set between greenery adds light and depth to small spaces. Metal objects once destined for the landfill can shimmer with new meaning in the garden. Vintage watering cans become hanging lanterns. Chains and gears, once part of broken bikes or tools, can be welded into sculptures that catch the sunlight. And old buckets, weathered and dented, carry charm as hanging planters or bird baths. Textiles, too, play their part. A faded linen curtain tied between two trees offers gentle shade. An old rug, waterproofed and stitched at the edges, becomes a soft patch beneath an outdoor reading nook. The beauty here isn't just in appearance, it lies in how these pieces make us feel. There's comfort in familiarity, in seeing a piece of our grandmother's table leg become part of a bench. In watching ivy climb through the frame of a long, unused window. These touches build a personal connection. They turn the backyard into a living memory. Repurposed decor also encourages mindfulness. When we create something new from something old, we slow down. We use our hands, our senses, our intuition. We begin to see value, not in the newness of things, but in their potential. In this way, the garden becomes a canvas, each reused object a brushstroke, each corner a quiet expression of ourselves. It also teaches us about harmony. Old materials blend with the natural world in surprising, poetic ways. Metal rusts, wood grays, fabric fades, but instead of ruining the decor, these changes enhance it. Time becomes part of the design. Nature becomes a co-creator. There's also a practical benefit. Reusing what we already have reduces waste. It saves money. It keeps useful materials out of landfills. And it opens the door to creativity, one that isn't limited by store shelves. You don't need to buy something new to add beauty. You only need to see differently. To look at that chipped teacup, that broken shutter, that unused crate, and imagine what could be. This approach invites a slower, more intentional way of life, one where even small actions carry meaning. One where a garden isn't just a place to sit, but a place to reflect, remember, and rebuild. And so the old becomes new, the useless becomes useful, and the garden becomes a testament, not to perfection, but to patience, care, and creativity. In the end, decorating a backyard with old items isn't just about style, it's about soul. It's about honoring what came before and giving it a place right here, right now, in the world we're growing. Garden decor from wood, DIY style, transform your yard into a dream corner. Hello, friends. Today, we'll talk about how wood can help you turn your garden or backyard into a cozy, stylish, and warm space. This natural material has always been a symbol of comfort and harmony, and working with it doesn't require huge expenses or professional skills. Why wood? Wood blends beautifully into any natural landscape. It's durable when treated properly and gives you endless creative freedom. You can paint it, stain it, combine it with metal, stone, or fabric. And working with wood often turns into a meditative process, bringing not only results, but joy along the way. Ideas for everyone. Create pathways and garden trails from natural materials so they feel organic and welcoming. Build vertical or multi-tier plant stands, saving space and adding volume to your design. Make simple outdoor furniture and accessories, from tables and benches to flower stands. Craft decorative elements and wooden figures from leftover materials. Add hanging planters and suspended structures to bring originality to facades, fences, and pergolas. Secrets of working with wood. Choose the right type. Larch, oak, and pine are moisture resistant, while others need extra protection. Protect your projects. Use coatings against moisture, fungus, and sun damage, and refresh them every 2 to 3 years. Start simple. All you need is a saw, screwdriver, sandpaper, and a brush. And of course, safety first. Always wear goggles and gloves. Blending wood decor into your landscape. Mix the rough texture of wood with delicate plants. Repeat shapes and lines for harmony. Use decorative lighting to highlight the atmosphere in the evenings. Why try it? It saves money. Many projects can be made from leftover materials. It's a natural stress reliever. Hands-on work calms and inspires. It brings people together, a great way to create warm family memories. Final thought. Even without experience, you can transform your yard with wood. Start with simple projects and gradually shape your own unique style. Don't be afraid to experiment. That's where real beauty is born. P.S. If you enjoyed these ideas, give this video a like and share which project you'd love to try. It helps us create more content, especially for you. If you've ever dreamed of turning your yard into a little paradise, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a like, and let's create beauty together, step by step. Now, let's get started. Today's video is full of easy ideas you can bring to life with your own hands. Flowers are the soul of the garden. They inspire, delight the eyes, and create a cozy atmosphere. But flowers alone are not enough. How you present them can transform the entire perception of your space. Today, we'll explore the most creative ideas for turning ordinary flower beds and pots into true garden art. First idea, unconventional shapes. Flower beds don't need to be round or square. Use an old bicycle, a baby stroller, a wicker chair, or even a bathtub. Fill it with soil and plant your blooms. A piece like this won't go unnoticed. It creates a storybook or vintage vibe. Even an old trough can become a garden centerpiece when placed just right and filled with vibrant life. Second idea, vertical flower beds and pots. The perfect way to maximize your space. Mount wooden crates on a wall, arrange pots on an old ladder or pallet. The secret lies in rhythm. Place the plants at varying heights, but keep a unified color palette. The result, a living wall that blossoms, grows, and evolves. Third idea, hand-painted and decorated pots. Plastic and ceramic planters are often dull and identical, but with acrylic paints, markers, and stencils, you can create one-of-a-kind designs. Paint patterns, ethnic motifs, naive florals, quotes, or even full illustrations. For example, flowers are the earth's smile. Add finishing touches, ropes, mosaics, seashells, or wrap the pot in jute or coarse twine. Every pot can become a tiny masterpiece. Fourth idea, layering and height play. Flower pyramids, stair-step displays, angled stacked pots all add a sense of motion and depth. Use metal plant stands, old step ladders, shelves, or even drawer units. The taller the composition, the more it draws the eye. Layered beds are especially beautiful when you place large, bold plants at the bottom and trailing plants above. Fifth idea, giving old objects a second life. This isn't just design, it's eco-conscious creativity and garden philosophy. Old boots, perfect mini planters for succulents. A cracked teapot? Why not? An empty dresser? Great for a tiered flower display. Even broken umbrellas can become hanging planters if you flip them upside down and anchor them to a wall. These types of planters give your garden a personality. They whisper, "Imagination lives here." Another powerful idea, themed flower beds. Turn your flower displays into stories. For example, a fairy's basket with a tiny door and miniature pots, a flower pond with a central mirror and blue pansies, a rustic yard with watering cans, wooden buckets, and enamel pots. These flower beds don't just decorate, they narrate. And finally, play with contrasts. Large formal pots paired with wildflowers, white containers with multicolored blooms, glass jars and lush moss. Contrasts make compositions bold and memorable. It's all in the details. Sometimes just one creative pot can breathe life into an entire garden corner. But when you have several accents, they start to talk to each other. That's how a style is born. That's how a mood is created. Let every flower bed in your garden reflect your creativity, your emotions, and your love for nature. And let your garden become not just a place, but a living gallery of inspiration. Ideas are just the beginning. Every flower bed, every planter is a way to tell your own story. Add a splash of color, a touch of creativity, and your garden will come to life in a whole new way. If you enjoyed these ideas, don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. What kind of flower arrangements do you love? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear. Upcycling is art. How old metal becomes garden magic. A garden is no longer just a piece of land with a few plants. It has become a space for self-expression, where a person becomes an artist, a sculptor, and a dreamer. One of the most powerful ways to express yourself in the garden is through upcycling, the creative transformation of old metal tools, chains, and scrap into sculptures and artistic forms. In this process, nothing is truly junk. Every rusty chain, bent wrench, or broken tool becomes a future part of a composition, like a brushstroke on a living canvas. Upcycling is not just repurposing, it's reimagining. You look at discarded objects not as waste, but as raw materials for beauty. A cracked shovel becomes a flower petal, an old wrench turns into a bird's beak, a chain twists into the curve of a serpent or the tail of a fantasy creature. Even a worn-out gas can transform into the head of a robot, with bolt eyes and a pipe snout. When you build sculptures from old parts, you enter a creative dialogue with form. You mix heavy with light, smooth with rusted, technical with organic. And from that fusion, something entirely new emerges, something one of a kind, something that carries your voice. Upcycling gives you freedom. There are no rules, no templates, just imagination, instinct, and the joy of making something from nothing. That's why handmade metal sculptures speak to people. They carry the spirit of the workshop, the smell of weld, the warmth of hands. Every curve, every seam says, this was made by someone who saw beauty in the forgotten and brought it back to life. And that's how your garden becomes more than a place. It becomes a creative force, a world where metal breathes again and the old becomes something deeply beautiful. Rest areas, gazebos, and mini terraces. The heart of any garden is a well-designed resting zone. It can be a cozy gazebo hidden in greenery or a small terrace near the house where you can enjoy quiet moments. Wicker furniture, soft cushions, warm textiles, and gentle lighting. These simple elements can transform an ordinary corner into a true sanctuary. Gazebos and pergolas. A gazebo is not just a covered structure, but an architectural accent. Wooden pergolas wrapped with roses or clematis create a romantic atmosphere. Metal constructions, on the other hand, bring strictness and a modern rhythm. Mini terraces. Even a small terrace near the house can become a full relaxation spot. A couple of chairs, a coffee table, and decorative lanterns, that's enough. In the morning, a perfect place for coffee. In the evening, a cozy corner for friends. Furniture and textiles. The choice of furniture sets the mood. Rattan, wood, or modular furniture each creates its own style. Soft pillows, throws, and blankets add warmth, while seasonal fabrics keep the space fresh. Lighting. The right light can transform even the simplest corner. Solar lamps, string lights, and soft, warm bulbs bring romance and comfort. Candles and lanterns add a sense of mystery, greenery, and aroma. Plants breathe life into the resting area. Climbing vines create a natural screen. Potted herbs, lavender, rosemary, mint, fill the air with fragrance. Zoning. It's important to separate the rest zone from the rest of the garden. Low hedges, decorative screens, or simply arranged planters create the feeling of a private room outdoors. Atmosphere and details. Details turn a terrace or gazebo into a place of strength. A wrought iron table, vintage items, baskets, or a collection of candles all add character. Each piece should be not only beautiful, but also useful. Philosophy of rest. A resting zone is not only about beauty, it is about harmony. Here you can recharge, listen to birds, enjoy the whisper of leaves. It is a place where nature and people meet face to face. Creating a gazebo or a mini terrace means designing a personal space for happiness. It doesn't need to be big or expensive. What matters is that it is truly yours.
We hope this video was useful to you. Like it, write your comments and subscribe to our channel.